So a year ago today, Billy Caldwell, a young autistic boy who suffered from severe epilepsy, was denied medicinal cannabis by the Home Office drug enforcement officials. Since then, his mother Charlotte has been campaigning tirelessly, as you would as a mum, and meeting with politicians in order to change the laws around medical cannabis to make it available via prescription. So, and this is why I'm very interested, because Charlotte's in the studio with me now. It was approved by the Home Secretary in October 2018, but NHS prescriptions are still incredibly hard to access for Charlotte and the many families also campaigning for their children. So 1 year on, Charlotte, frustratingly, and we should say that Billy's in the studio as well. He's wandering around, and we'll look after him. Yeah. We're back to square one, which is not what we wanted. And tell us why.
Yes, back to square one. Sadly, Billy, when Sajid made the bold move of...
So that's Sajid Javid, who said, yes, we're going to approve.
Yes, the Home Secretary. Cannabis. And Billy's medicine was returned in June last year. Obviously, I was absolutely delighted, as Billy had been in a life-threatening situation in the Chelsea and Westminster Hospital. So his medicine was returned, and 3 days later Sajid stood up in Parliament and said he was going to appoint Dame Sally Davies to go and do some research into whether cannabis had medical benefits or not. So Dame Sally did that and came back 7 days later and announced that it did have medical benefits.
So you breathed a big sigh of relief then?
Yes, it was absolutely brilliant. So, our campaign had been successful, and basically then what happened, a number of weeks later, two other families who were campaigning in the UK for their children to access medical cannabis also received their NHS prescriptions, which we were all applauding about. And we truly believed that was, the start of many of these desperately ill children and also desperately ill people throughout the United Kingdom that have various conditions, MS, cancer, etc., to get access to medical cannabis.
Let me just ask you there, in case people aren't familiar with your story as well, what exactly is Billy's condition, and what is medical cannabis, and why does it help him?
Billy has a condition, drug-resistant epilepsy. He just does not respond, or hasn't responded in the last 13 years to any anti-epileptic pharmaceuticals.
Hi, he's Billy's just come and say hello. He's yeah.
Yes, he's
behind my chair.
Yeah. So
the traditional drugs don't work for him at all.
Yes. So Billy was actually prescribed medicinal cannabis 2.5 years ago, September 2016 in Los Angeles by a paediatric neurologist.
And how does he take it in its oil form?
Yes. It's just a little bottle of oil, and you just draw it up in a syringe, just the same way as you would give your child Calpol or etc. Yeah.
And you noticed straight away it was working?
No, not straight away. Okay. No. And this is what there's a lot of myths out there and a lot of misleading facts that are going into the press and going on online. And certain patient advocacy groups declaring, that one particular product suits all, etc. That's not at all.
As with all medicine,
yes, there's not one particular formulation of this cannabis plant that is a catch-all for everyone. So it's. Basically it's as I said, it's just a little bottle of oil, and you pull it up in the syringe and just give it to them as if it was just Calpol.
So it was trial and error for you. So it wasn't an wasn't an immediate.
No, Billy was started
success.
First, and this is really important that people need to hear this. Billy was started first on CBD whole plant cannabis oil with no THC. Which in THC is the actual psychoactive component of the plant. So it was CBD whole plant, and it was a low strength of that first, microdosed up slowly over a number of weeks. And when I say microdose, I mean like 0.1 of a 1 ml syringe every week.
Billy's having a little hug.
And it was microdosed up slowly over a number of weeks. And first of all, the doctor there, who is an expert in medical cannabis, had to establish if, first and foremost, that Billy was a CBD responder, and that he could tolerate the medicine. And it was only then that they considered adding the psychoactive element of the plant, which is THC.
Mm-hmm. And that was when you noticed a response?
Yes, well, the first time that Billy actually got added the THC, it actually didn't agree with Billy, the actual THC that was added. It actually put Billy into a status seizure, and Billy had to be rushed to the Children's Hospital in Los Angeles. And it was just simply because at that stage, Billy was 11 years old.
How old is he now?
He's 13 now.
Right.
But Billy just couldn't tolerate THC at that stage. So they obviously stopped the THC and then added a little bit of THCA, which is THC, but the psychoactive element is taken out of it. And with the CBD whole plant and the THCA, that's what actually took Billy to 300 days seizure-free.
So, you found something that worked.
Yeah.
Sajid Javid did what you needed him to do. What's gone wrong? What's happened now? Why are we here back having this conversation a year later? Because there's something available that can help Billy, and it's legal now. So
yes, well, Billy, as everyone is aware, got his NHS prescription reinstated in June last year. And so fast forward from June last year to October last year, and in October Billy's seizures started to break through. And Billy has a history of, once the seizures start to break through, they get out of control really, really quickly.
So he stopped responding to
mm-hmm.
this particular formula?
Yes. So I took Billy back to his paediatric neurologist in Belfast and explained, and I said I was becoming increasingly concerned. His seizures were breaking through. And she said, well, I'm not an expert in the medicine. I said, look, I understand and I appreciate that. I said, I think I'm going to take him back to Canada and have him reassessed, because there's something seriously going wrong here. I took Billy back to Canada. He was assessed by a medical cannabis doctor, an expert in the medicine. She transitioned Billy from the medicinal cannabis product that he was on to a new one.
Mm-hmm.
She sent the full report, written assessment, to Belfast along with the analysis of the new medicine. And what she explained to me was that Billy had started puberty. And this is the reason that Billy had basically plateaued on the medicine, because, and it's not unusual, she explained to me this was not unusual for this to happen to these kids with epilepsy, that as their bodies are evolving, the condition epilepsy will evolve. Hence, the medicine has to be changed. They have to be able to be transitioned as they're growing from one medicinal cannabis product to another.
So is that the problem right now? He's transitioned into a different requirement of product, and that product hasn't been scheduled. Is that what the issue is?
No.
What is it?
The issue is that when Billy was assessed in Canada, which was the first week in November 2018, as I said, the doctor there furnished the doctor in Belfast with a full written report and Billy's medicine, the analysis of his new medication. The next day I got a call in Canada telling me, a director from the Belfast Trust called me and said to me that Billy's paediatric neurologist would not be continuing to support his prescription for medicinal cannabis.
Why?
Because at that stage, his explanation to me was, when I asked why, was that because of the new BPNA guidelines and because there wasn't enough clinical trial research done into medical cannabis in a child like Billy with epilepsy.
So what can we do now? What is it that you're hoping for?
There's a couple of things here that I would like to point out to the public. That same particular doctor, that is Billy's doctor in Northern Ireland and Belfast, continues under the new BPNA guidelines and stating very clearly that there is no clinical trial data to write a prescription for another child in Northern Ireland. There's another child in England, in the UK, continues to receive medicinal cannabis via an NHS prescription as well.
Is it the same formula?
Through a GP. This, to me, is To me, what's happening with Billy now is discrimination. And that's all I can put it down to. I'm frightened at this particular moment in time for my little boy, because we are down today, as of today, we have 9 days supply of medicine left. I'm a single mother. I cannot sustain to buy and continue to pay for Billy's medicinal cannabis medicine. I can't do this. I am asking now that Billy's medicinal cannabis, his prescription, be reinstated and given back to him.
And who has the power to do that?
There is several departments that have the power to do that. The Health Department in Northern Ireland, the Belfast Trust, Dr Michael McBride in Northern Ireland, who is the Chief Medical Officer in Northern Ireland, who is responsible, who runs our Department of Health, who runs our Belfast Trust.
So could Dr Michael McBride, could he write the order? Could he issue a letter that continues your NHS prescription so that you can continue treating Billy?
I think what I'm saying here is this: is Billy's doctor in Belfast justified the clinical need that to support and to write Billy's medical cannabis prescription in June last year. That has been taken away from him now, simply because he's a little boy of 13 years of age that just happened to start puberty, and they took away his life-saving medicine because he started puberty. That's exactly what they have done. I have written to Matt Hancock. I've written to the Minister of Medicine, Baroness Blackwood. I have asked for please help, because I cannot sustain Billy's medicine anymore. This is wrong. We had a consultation on the 25th of April 3 weeks ago with Professor Helen Cross at Great Ormond Street. She was kind, she was compassionate. Professor Helen Cross is a world-ranking paediatric neurologist in the United Kingdom on our NHS. She has advised that this prescription be wrote in Belfast for Billy, his prescription be reinstated. And I'm asking them now to please do this, have a wee bit of respect for my little boy, and return his NHS prescription. And
Charlotte, if people want to support you, if they want to get behind you, if they want to lobby anybody or write to anybody, how do they do that? How do they show their support and put some pressure on the people that you think need to be pressurised?
Tonight, if everybody can go on to social media, Billy's has his own Facebook page, which is Keep Billy Alive.
Yeah. And
there will be some direction up there as to what people can do to help us. But at the moment, the situation we're in is that
you've got 9 days left.
We've got 9 days supply left. This is at the highest level in the health department and health officials. They have taken away my right as a mummy to hope, but what they're actually doing is they're taking away my little boy's right to life.